And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the spaceship live stream that you could be watching from anywhere around the country or the world. And you could be anywhere in the galaxy, coming to you from the spaceship studios from a galaxy far, far away. And this is the Friday special. And I'm glad to have all of you here. And what I'll be doing now is switching over so everybody can see me. All right. Hello, everybody. And I don't necessarily need to have the other window open so you all could see me easier right now because it's still light outside. But hello. I hope everybody has had an amazing week and everybody has a great weekend also. And what I'm going to be doing now is I will be doing the game and talking about some things and for a little bit. Then we'll get into some articles and stuff like we usually do. All right. So, chat has been very cool. Shout out to everybody. I've been reading the comments, and y'all have been very, very nice. I really appreciate that. Dwayne and Sharon, shout out to you both, and Joyce, and Remy, Breeze, Five Cats, and all the lurkers. And anybody else I may have missed, just let me know. And now I'll be getting into the game part, and then we will be doing what we usually do, right? So, all right, Mary, understood. All right. I'm glad to see chat here. I appreciate every single one of you. Scared. Scared. All right, is there any sound issues? Can everybody hear me or not? Let me know. I appreciate it. All right, let's see if this game launches. Let's see if it causes any problems or anything. It looks fine. That would help. That would help, Five Cats. That would help. All right. So now we're getting into the game, everybody. Okay. All right, here's our pirate. I just figured out you could move it around. You can move him around. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, because I'm thinking I have everything. Everything should be working fine. All right. So we're going to put this right here. We're going to get this up. And let's begin the drinking games. All right. Hello, Stranded. Good to see you. Excellent to see you here. Shout out to you, fam. And Wayne says, "Hi, alien spaceship. From me and Sharon. As you know, Friday is date night, but we hung around to say hello to you live. We must step out now. Bye, everyone. It was nice chatting with all you. I hope you both have an amazing dinner evening, and thank you so much, both of you, for coming here and telling us hello. I really appreciate it." Oh yeah, so Stranded. So basically, there is this hello under a rocket. What a wonderful surprise. Oh, before I started, I fed Bubbles his food and tucked him in. So he's over. He's resting over on the blue blanket. Oh, hello, Aaron. That's great to see you also. And so Stranded. Last time there's this tradition that was made up the last few times that when I say scared, they take a shot. Like Lauren and the different chat members, they'll take a shot when I say scared. So that's the drinking game that they play. And or they drink wine or something when I say that. Oh, you're welcome under a rocket. All right, so hilarious chat, hilarious. All right, all right. So here we go. Scared, scared. All right, and so basically today regarding the trial chat, today was extremely interesting. Today there was a verdict in Monica Cementelli, and it was the cleanest, best pleasure ever. She got extremely emotional, and what the verdict was, the jury got it right this time. It was guilty. And so, and basically what happened was we were very glad to see the guilty verdict. And it was the most satisfying tension and stress relief ever to see was that guilty verdict and her squirm like a roach, all right? That was the cleanest, best pleasure ever. I mean, the whole day I was just on cloud nine. I'm always on cloud nine, but I was really on cloud nine. And Strand said, I'm a tea totter. Can I take a shot of tea? Someone needs to say sober to fly the ship. Yes, co pilot. Stranded, you can just take some tea. Whatever, yeah. People smoke weed or do the machine or vapes or whatever. Get your drinks, snacks, weed, whatever you have, and enjoy or just nod your head, whatever that is you all do when I say scared. And also, basically, what happened was she was because finally the verdict came in, and I was up and I saw it, and I was in the chat, and I was very glad to see everybody, and it was a big high on catnip. It was a lot of tension. It put the chat in suspension. And so basically what happened was she was found guilty on everything, and she started crying, and everybody could see her Timu teeth and her Timu self, and she was getting really, she was like, people think fake crying. She was just crying for herself, and she was just, completely pitiful. And remember, so Monica Cementelli had Baker and Austin murder her husband, Fabio, so she could be with Fabio and get all of his money. Get, yeah, to get all of Fabio's insurance money and all this different stuff and get him out the way so she could be with the other person. Hilarious, Stranded. So, and that, what happened was basically she was really, finally justice was served for Fabio, and the chat was hysterical. Chat was going like wild. Yeah, that's true, Remy. You and Stranded are designated spaceship drivers. That's true. Yeah, you both. Definitely. Scared. Yeah, the half smile cry. Deleting Fabio didn't fly. She's going to be making big rocks into little rocks. And she won't be able to start jailing with Baker and get high. Haha, she tried to win, but she tried but failed. I think she's slow. I call her a snail. Exactly, Joyce. That is and it's always interesting with psychology because and body language is very important. With body language, it's very important. And basically, what happened was with the body language, you she did not cry the entire time, or she had crocodile tears maybe, but she was really upset for herself. She was really emotional for herself. So Joyce, that's a way you could prove that through her body language and her emotions, she only cares about herself, not about her husband. Yeah, reaction was priceless. I'll call her a Timu gem. Lori hasn't been zapped yet. I'm waiting for it to happen. That is the best. She is not practicing Zen at all. Getting out of hand. That's what Lori does. Under a Rocket, it's your first stream, and I want to congratulate you for being here. Always enjoyed you at the trial chats. All right. Aaron says, "Hey Joyce, Remy, just here for a good time, guys. My kid is literally practicing her recorder in front of me while I'm trying to chat." Oh yeah, shout out to your kid. That's hilarious. All right. Hello, Duke. I'm glad that you came to the party, bro. Shout out to you, man. I'm glad you're here. Oh, good evening, Danielle. It's great to see you here as well. Stranded, I'm glad you brought that trial up. Thanks. I was gonna bring it up, but thank you for bringing that up. The Marlowe trial. I believe he will be. I believe it'll be streamed on Law and Crime most likely. And if it isn't, if it is or it isn't, I will cover it on this channel. Hello, hello, Che. Great to see you. Yeah, yeah. All right. I want to shout out to all of you for being here, and I appreciate everybody being here and hanging out with me. You could be anywhere else. Yes, Remy, that person. Yes. I'm glad that y'all are with me and chilling, and for this Friday evening little party stream. Yeah, and also I will make remarks about the Carmelo Anthony, Carmelo Anthony. I will make some statements about him. Yeah, so basically, how can one man have so many mods? How can one man have so many how can one man have so many mods? All the trolls in their basement are from Reddit. They have dad bods. I think that it's Call of Duty. Let's call the team Alien COD. Trolls make me uncomfortable. I have to have so many mods because I got people that I could trust, and that's a must. Shout out to you, Matt. I'm glad that you're here as well. Welcome all those coming in. All right. So many boats, so little time. Monica is in prison with her new girlfriend. I hope that they're drinking Timu Lime. All right. So I'm going to talk about Camelo, that the stabbing, the football stabbing. I'll talk about it in soon after I talk about some of these other trials. I mean, this other trial. Then we'll get into that one. All right. So so basically, what happened was there is this situation that occurred where this other trial we were watching, the Beat and Burn trial, we were all thinking they were not going to come with a verdict today. But they came with a verdict, and the chat and us were excited, but at first we didn't know what to say. Yes, it was a track meet stranded, but he was a football player. That's why the football player got stabbed. Yeah, thank you. But since he's a football player, I got it a little bit mixed up for a moment. And basically, you missed it live. All right, so in the Beat and Burnt trial, a verdict came. We first Alexandria McDonald. Hey, Tasman. Great to see you, my friend. I'm glad that you're here, buddy. And sounds intense. So much moaning, I think they need to repent. Danielle said she was found guilty again, and Linda Sturmer, great job, jurors. All right, so basically today, the jury found. So at first, Alexandra McDonald was chilling with us in the chat, and we saw some movement. We thought there might have been a verdict, but they were not too sure. Some cats in the chat were triggered of the lack of information and had an uproar. We had mixed emotions about the situations. And then what we did was the chat got overjoyed, and then the chat started to soar because Alexandria said the verdict was in. 2 verdicts in 1 day. I call that 2 Temu birds with 1 stone. That I do condone. And when the chat is excited for a verdict, suspense is through the roof. Higher than the highest cat in the chat. It almost feels great to see Temu Rats get sentenced. All right, so the suspense was there, and then Linda Sturmer, she was found guilty, and everybody was excited, and some people were angry at Law and Crime for not showing certain things, but it wasn't Law and Crime. It was the trial. It was that room of people. That's who was getting angry. It was the court directing the cameras, not Law and Crime. So that is what we were. All right, Joyce. That's good. Understood. So we did that. We got the person there, So she was found guilty, and Law and Crime, the courtroom was not showing Monica, was not showing Linda at all, and they cut it off before the sentencing could happen, and everybody was triggered. So when chat was triggered, yeah, Levine is extremely weird. I agree. And then what happened was, then Breeze sent me the video and told me on a comment about what happened. She told me that there is a video about it. And then I saw the rest of it. So Law and Crime was able to record what actually was occurring. trashing Neos and getting Neot. All right. Anthony McQuaid. Oh, I'm delighted to see you here, buddy. Shout out to Anthony McQuaid. He's an OG. He's one of the greatest mods of all time. Shout out to him. I'm glad that he's here with us. And Linda was found guilty of beating her husband and burning the house down. And it's like she was saying she was in the laundry room, but it's like if you're in the laundry room or in the basement, how in the world did you get out? And she was about to be put out. And she was angry so much she wanted to shout, but instead she burnt the whole house down and beat him to death. Just popped open my first beer. That's amazing. Don't get carried away and drop a tear. No need to fear. Yeah, and then there was Linda in handcuffs. Yeah, and so basically, as I was saying, with handcuffs, she was humbled and not acting all buff. She had her head down in shame. Yeah, oh, Moki. Scared. Scared. What's Gam? Let's see. Yeah, and yeah, so basically, yeah, I finally completed the voodoo staff. Oh, hello, Justice. Great to see you here. All right. We'll give her the wrench. All right. All right, so okay, so basically what happened was, oh, hello, Kadata. Oh, hey, Kadata, it's great to see you. All right, so yeah, shout out to Justice. Yeah, Justice, they came in with a verdict today in the beat and burn trial, and I believe you were there. And also Monica Cementelli. That was hilarious. And watching her squirm and cry. That was hilarious. That was the cleanest, best pleasure ever. I was watching it again and I was laughing hysterically. And Monica was scared. All right, Kadata. I am doing great. And today was an amazing day with the trial chats. We had an awesome time. And we were so glad to see the guilty verdict. Twice. All right, so yeah, there's this other YouTuber I know that I helped out. His name's Gam Catches Up, and he makes like these 3D models, and he makes little like toys out of them. That's what he does, and he talks about different things in his live stream. So that's who Gam is. Gam Catches Up. Shout out to him. He's another cool YouTuber that a friend of mine that I helped put his. I helped him like with the live stream, how to do a live stream. And he gives me shout outs and stuff, so shout out to him. And yeah, so that's who Gam Catches Up is. Thank you, Stranded, for mentioning. Yeah, shout out to him. Yeah, with a silver spoon, right? Hello, UH. Great to see you here. And Justice. You're welcome. The Monica verdict was pretty satisfying after watching for so long. Yeah, it was extremely satisfying to finally see that happen. Yes, under a rocket. Under a rocket, it was so cool to see. Finally, I felt amazing, man. I felt amazing, and chat was amazing. And then finding Linda was found guilty as well. That was a finale, man. That was great. And she was moaning and wailing like she was going to hell for all eternity. And she paid the piper, as I like to say. She is molded, I'll call her clay. Oh yeah, Anthony, my streams have reached to nearly 200 views. My streams will get to nearly 200 views. Matt said there's more chicks in here than the black market egg farm. That is true. That is true. That is true. The Timu farm has more hens in the house than the black market does. Facts. Thank you, Strainer, for posting the link. Thank you. Yes, that is true. The ladies love Alien Spaceship. All right, so Justice. If you go to Law and Crime Trials, the red channel with the red icon, Law and Crime was able to get the rest of the video of her being handcuffed and sent out to the prison, and she was wailing and moaning, and she was, that was the satisfying thing ever. So yes, it was a shame they cut it short, but Law and Crime did put it back up. Oh, I know, Shay. Che, I know. Basically, I wish they would have shown it, but they did put up a video about it. They did. I don't mind playing it on the stream. I don't mind doing that. In a little bit, I could go and play it and react to it. All right. Hello, Joyce. Great to see you. All right, then we have this power up. Moki, why was screaming? Why was screaming at my TV? Alien, I seen her being handcuffed and walked out. Oh, okay, so you're saying that you wanted her to see her face. Oh, I get it. Now, Moki and Joyce think that she was not guilty. Okay. As I said, there's different opinions with trials. There's different opinions about it. And basically, and at first I wasn't exactly certain about it. And, and I could be wrong. I didn't keep up with the case too much. So I could be possibly incorrect. But basically, I just, it didn't make sense to me about why would she be in this other area, but how would she be able to get out the house? But anyway, yeah. So Joyce and Moki think that she was not guilty. Okay, understood. Now, if y'all want to explain why y'all think that she was not guilty, let me know. I want to see another perspective. Okay, Moki says, I don't know that she didn't do it. I just think it was not proven, and she thinks that Todd set the fire. Okay, understood. Thank you. Matt says, I have no idea what the hell we're talking about right now. I was too busy convincing people in my life not to be terrified. Hilarious, Matt. Well, I'm glad that you're trying to help them not be terrified. And Moki says, I was permanently hanging with Monica in the afternoon. Under says, I can't say one way or another because I just came across the affair part from the friend coworker, so clearly I was not a good juror in this case. Okay, understood. Justice says, I don't know about the picture and the baseball cards in the trailer until the last day, and I thought she was just guilty before that. Okay, understood. Understood. Yeah, Linda was scared. All right, chat. Well, thank you for the different perspective. Yeah, we were watching the trials for a long time. Chat was on fire. It was time to shine. Aaron, I'm not aware of any trials, but maybe people in the chat know. Yeah, so that is what was going on with those trials today. I'm very invested in Lori because that's an easy train wreck. Oh yeah, I've been mainly focusing on the Lori trial. That's what I've been mainly focusing on. I'm right into Lori representing herself. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Lori representing herself is an amazing. That trial's a clown show. Hello, Eugene. Good to see you, buddy. I'm not into that cult and evil spirit BS in Lori in the Lori Vallow trial. So Che says she's not interested And that, yeah, it's very creepy and evil. Absolutely. And Justice says Jessica Barney's trial is coming up for the murder of Kendall Mims. Okay, thank you. I like say Moki says I like saying toodles, toodles, noodles, poodles, and also you forgot strudels. Oh yeah, Shay, understood, understood. And you know it is, satanic stuff is best to stay away from. Yeah, Matt. So Chad Daybell, he had this cult. He's in the Latter Day Saints, and he came up with this revelation from God that wasn't really from God, and he was saying some people were dark spirits or zombies, and they had to be deleted, unalived, and that's what he did. And he convinced Lori, his, to murder the kid and Tammy, and they deleted these people because they thought about that they had darkness in them. So that is something that was occurring. That's what the trial is like, summarized basically what it's about. Matt, Moki said poodles already. Scared. Aaron says, Shay, I don't watch her other trials. I hear you. But it's not as much about that as it's watching her try to question witnesses and failing miserably and being passive aggressive. Five Cat says, and I'll be continuing to ruin lives from behind bars. Scared. Scared. Moki says, for the love of all that it's whole that is holy, I hope that we have more Karen Reed and Lori Vallow next week. That is two for from hell. Scared. I think some of them said they're doing shots. I'm not too sure they're still doing it, but they were maybe doing it a little bit. Yeah, Joyce is doing it. Yeah, so that. Oh, hello, Rebecca. Great to see you. Fantastic to see you in chat. Yeah, and yeah, so I think, okay, so maybe with the trial, you know, yeah, and Anthony says it took me a while to get used to the pronouns for death, unalived, and delete. Yeah, I know it's kind of cringe, but like YouTube has problems with certain words allegedly, so that is why we use these words that we use. It's cringe. Yeah, it does take getting used to. Joyce says y'all want her to commit a crime. We'll have a new trial. Well, it looks like Joyce is going to take one for the team. Oh, and Moki says, did Princess say why she hasn't been around? I'm a little worried about her. Oh, she said she has an illness, but she's getting better. No prayers for her, definitely. Yeah, she said she had an illness. Yeah, so Princess T Dot, she had some sort of an illness, and she's recovering. Usury tube. Scared. The Karen Reed stuff is something else. And says, Che, and I had enough Karen Reed last us a week today. Hilarious. The evidence will show, even if it comes out, maybe even a little bit slow. I think that it's Moki, short for Mo. Yeah, sending prayers for her. Amen. Thank you, Danielle. Yeah, so shout out to Rebecca. I'm glad she's here. That's great. I'm going to be right back. Right back. Anthony, the party's in the chat. The party is right here in the chat. So it's like a chat party while I do the pirate game. Oh yeah, yeah. And today there is no verdict in no verdict yet in trial in the TK trial. Scared. Yeah, 666. We haven't seen him in a while. We have not seen him today. I don't know where he is. I didn't know he was in the Monica verdict. I didn't see him. Maybe I saw him and didn't realize it, but no, I didn't know. Hello, Michael. Good to see you, buddy. I'm glad that you're here. You know, we're just recapping about the trials we watched today. About Linda getting found guilty all of a sudden, with Monica being found guilty also. And we're just discussing the different trials right now. And then I'm going to talk about the track meetup stabbing. has an encrypted name. All right. It's interesting. I like it. All right. I didn't know it was a password. All right, Stranded. Thank you for dropping by. Maybe we'll see you later. Alrighty. Awesome. All right, and yeah, and today Monica was scared. And also today Linda was scared. Oh, I know. I know, TK. I know. About TK, yeah. Yeah, and also Justice, the we saw the video. Oh, the white man. Shout out to you, buddy. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for dropping by and telling us hello. All right, Aaron, have a great weekend. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you. Yeah, so basically, and there's this other channel that Che will tell us about where we saw explicit detail. We saw an explicit detail, the murder scene, and now Che at first is not completely convinced if it was guilty or not, in her opinion. I don't know what she thinks now. But yeah, I was saying if this guy did this murder, he needs to be thrown under the prison. Or was he framed or not framed? That's another debate, also. Johnny might be lurking in the chat, but he's certainly at this bar somewhere on this island. Right now, a zombie pirate apocalypse is happening. All right. Yeah, so Justice, I think that's incredibly cringe. Yeah. I was also watching some scenes from I was watching some scenes from YSL, some like a recap about it. And it was so cool. You know, I was seeing Woody again and him being a goof again. I was watching Woody and him not recalling, and also the other witness too, who said he also didn't recall, and he was getting triggered, and he was saying that he has to be there, and he's getting his life threatened, and all. It was hilarious. Chase says, "I'm still on the fence. It can be either way. I learned so much as the trial went on." Well, I'm glad that you learned a lot. And also, Chase says the new Law and Crime purchase. I swear, it's not the same. Why didn't the purchase the sound equipment? Now, I do hear about the sound equipment is from the courtroom's end and not Law and Crime's end. They claim. I kill zombies daily. Oh, that's great. We'll have you on our team. Where are these zombies at? Oh, Joy's awesome. Glad you're caught up. Yeah, I miss Woody too. Definitely. Yeah, Plants versus Zombies. Facts. Tim Pool is some other streamer YouTuber. Last show, Tim Pool argued that 17-year-old Austin Metcalf Being stabbed to death was likely justifiable self-defense by Carmelo Anthony. All right, understood, Remy. Oh, okay, Joyce. We wouldn't want to wake him up. He could just chill. I don't know why they're taking. Everyone should go to in every powder log and guild. Yeah, they're taking a long time to raid our shore. And Danielle says, I need to say this about the helicopter crashed in New York. My God, how sad. Oh, rest in peace to the people that crashed. You know, that is so tragic. And that's unfortunate for that to ever happen. Yeah, these crashes have been happening very frequently. There has been three more crashes since then. I know. It just I don't really understand it either. What's with all the crashing going on? We got to get it with the program. You know, the whole world's falling apart all of a sudden. Oh, that's very sad, Mr. Matt. That's very sad. Remy says an entire family wiped out. Of course, Dad is a data exo, so we hear all about it. Ah, okay. Executive. Oh, okay. I understand. So you think that there's a bias and they're going to talk more about it. Right. And Chase says, is that a way to put flying cars that Elon wants to existence? Yeah, you know, I think personally, basically, the flying cars are in a distant future because it's really cringe how these flying cars don't. You know, we can't even have aircraft at work. Yeah. I'm going to be right back, but I'll be back in a moment. Be back in a moment. Ah, Joyce, I get it. I'll be right back, everybody. Let's see. I'll put it in the chat. I'm back now. Everyone needs biology break once in a while. Awful idea. Really think it's the Jetsons. AI controlled flying cars. That's even better. And you can't watch kittens on break. Oh, okay, thank you. I get it. And the question, who were those people on the Hello? They were going back to Spain. I can't believe I have been wrong. These trials, oh, juries are different lately. And P break sponsored by Louis Vuitton. Cheers. Justice, I believe they were tourists. All right, he explains him. Guy was business executive and was on the chopper with his wife and three kids from Spain. Actually, less than usual. We are just more aware of the crash because it's in the news. Adriana, those kittens are some chicken, right? And also, we have everything Jetsons. Helicopter maintenance. I heard this was a helicopter 6 flight. Alright. Alright, see if anything's going on here or not. Let's see. Yeah, definitely it is odd. Okay, Remy, they're millionaires. Okay. Five cats, yeah. The pronunciation's interesting, yes. And Matt says it was probably a maintenance issue. They say that it was a sixth flight of the day at the chopper, which is a normal amount. They say they had 6 tours a day all the time. I will do that, Joyce. All right. Oh, I watched the Flintstones growing up. Justice says we have warship headed to Iran and World War III, so they're probably trying to distract us. Oh, okay. Understood. Hex a personal drone. Is that a conehead or that's Monica? She's in the zone. She's cringeworthy. She is in the Jalen zone. Oh, that's interesting. They have helicopter tours in your area. That's really interesting. All right, the game glitched. There is to be no attack. Matt says just as exactly. The tariffs are being distractions until the military gets into place. Okay. Very interesting information, chat. Very interesting. Hello, Miranda. Good to see you. Great to see you. I'm glad that you're here. Also, I took care of everything I need, and 5 cats. I took care of everything I need to take care of. By the way, all right. And I'm glad that all of y'all have been here. All y'all are here. And hello, Miranda. I hope that you're having a great week, a great day. Also, anybody I may have not have said that to. So we're talking about a variety of different topics, Miranda, including right now. We're talking about the helicopter that crashed, but also before we're talking about Monica Sementelli, and she was found guilty today, and also Linda Starmer was found guilty also for the other thing that happened. So that is what we were talking about today. Talking about tonight. Chopper has another meaning here in England. Oh, hilarious five cats. Hilarious. Robert De Niro is aging backwards. Justice, that's good. You keep stocked up. That's good. Eugene says we'll probably get transporters to Star Trek before flying cars. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Miranda says, luckily, my cat, being an angel. Hey, Eugene, Danielle, Remy, everyone. Oh, yeah, shout out to your cat. And I'm glad that that's going, good. That you're going to get the cat fixed. But then I think it's funny what you said at the same time. Your cat's being an angel. Yeah. Joyce, sorry, I stepped away. I had a French dip. Scared. Scared. Hello, governor. Oh, you learned that new... Oh, look at this dude. I never saw a character this tall before. I never saw a player this big. This has to be some new feature. Apparent a thing in the UK. Oh, okay. Thank you, UH, for letting us know. Matt says, I used to work in Europe, hence why I know the European name of eggplant. Katz said he was European. It's actually a she, but right. Yeah, Miranda. And also Monica, she was found guilty and she started crying, but only crying for herself, not about her husband being murdered, about herself. It was a satisfying thing to watch. It was like the cleanest, best pleasure ever. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. I was laughing. Call me Darius. Tasman, I might rap, but throughout the time I've been live, I've been dropping bars a little bit here and there, and maybe I'll do it tonight. You never know, but I have been dropping bars here and there. It sounds like the cat out is out of the bag. All five of them. I think it's time to give a shout out to chat. I need to attend to them, and we are all having an alien party. I guess it's like a Harley Davis. Call it Harley. Yes, great news, of course. Ye old villains sobbing for themselves. Exactly, exactly. A French dip and sandwich, you dip in meat juice. I think that Monica really thought she was something she was going to win. Instead, she was just obtuse. She was on the menu for dinner, and she's the Timu Goose. Zombies are welcomed, and they can have first class seat. And they will go and sit down at the dinner table and eat. They can't eat us unless they pay a price. They better not forget the rice either. I think that all these haters, and Monica included, is just a bunch of mice. Oh, Miranda, you've been watching Lori Vallow. Oh, absolutely. She's completely narcissistic and a piece of cringe. A piece of cringe. Scared. Oh, yeah. And she's also possessed. I dip it in beef gravy. Oh, that's delicious. Well deserved break. Monica wants to take. She looks like a saggy piece of mop. She's the sister of Lori Vallow. I think that's the truth. I know that as a fact. Even though what I'm about to say might be a little bit like Chirac. Lori Vallow is really hollow. She is the Valley of the Shadow of Death, but the Timu version. Lori's face used to look more chill. Now it's saggy and droopy. She looks like the face of the Hunchback of Notre Dame. But she's no Disney. She's beyond possessed, asking petty Timu questions, hurting her case more. Oh, look, she is the best at ruining everything. So she was going through the trial thinking that she was going to put the state in a Timu pile, but she asked a bunch of questions and opened up the castle doors all over the place. She was angry when they let everything in. And when they let everything in, it was about that time her case went into the bin. And she was angry at the judge for opening up the questions, but she opened up the door because she brought it up because she was her own defense. And she learned the hard way that's not the way to go. She should have gotten legal counsel from at least Elmo. And Miranda says, okay, you roasted her, but who could hurt JJ and Ty Lee? Miranda, she did. She's the one that hurt JJ and Ty Lee. She is a leech. A saggy leech from the sewer. Extremely creepy. She's possessed by the devil herself. That's who she is. Rest in peace to them. And also she helped in the deletion of Tammy. False prophet BSers. They do not represent anything from Latter-day Saints. I think that she's paint thinner because her hair is all taint. And she will never get out. I think that her mop is wet. I gotta give her that shout out. She asked stupid petty questions. And the same thing happened to Darrell Brooks. And also, beyond that, she and Darrell Brooks rolled through a crowd of people on a Christmas parade. He had so much hate. He was only 5'3". I guess he had the Napoleon complex, but he went too far with it. I guess that's the Timu syndrome for him. Latter-day Ants. Are they the red kind or the black kind? And then the heartbreaking part of Vallow's trial that happened recently. She went and talked to the victim's mother, the husband that she murdered. The mother cried and sobbed. Her whole life was ruined. It certainly got robbed. I think that it's hoppity hop. I think that she will get hopped away by the jury. Put her under the cell, under the prison, throw away the key. I think that she doesn't realize her stupidity, but all of us in the chat and in the channel at Law and Crime, everybody can see. Good night, Danielle. I'll blow you a kiss. If I could blow you all the kisses in the world, I could. I would. And so I think that she's extremely evil. Anyone that disagrees, I'm a bit misunderstood. I'm a bit Yes, that was correct what I said. Or me too. Need for sure. I'm very Enmeric, so I can chow down. Moki, I love biscuits and gravy, mashed potatoes. The UK does not compare. Our biscuit game is shit. It's shit. Scared. Imagine ending everyone around you. Sorry, she smiles. She looks like. She smiles so horribly. She certainly would be a victim from Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's what she is. She smiles exaggerated. She's Pennywise the Dancing Clown's cousin. Her smile is trying to be not disturbing, but its existence just makes flowers die. She even caused the streams to go out, ruined the Wi-Fi. In Miranda, she was deceived by Chad Daybell, and he got revelations, quote-unquote, from God to do the evil things, but that's not true. God said not to delete anybody. And she was saying some people are zombies. She said some people were zombies, and some people were dark. All right, Justice. Kisses to you, too. Thank you so much, Justice, for coming here. I'm glad that you got to talk with us and hang out with us about this trials. And also, we have... Oh, the Walking Dead spinoffs. That sounds like a Temu version. Oh, Lord. Remy, I take you down to get a bacon, green, chili, cheese, egg burrito. Oh, that's awesome that you do that for her, Miranda. That's awesome. I hate watching the Kardashians. Oh, Under a Rocket says, Courage the Cowardly Dog was my son's favorite show. Oh, well, I was scared, but he was not. Oh, Lord. Also, you have... Let's see. I tried, but it's hard negative for me. Eugene... Mary says, Eugene, they have French fry po' boys sandwiches. Here I haven't won years, but good. See you Monday. Pig is delicious. When justice is served, people are saddened. And also people want revenge. And I think that it's also reading people's different emotions. I don't know what everybody thinks. That is a fact, even though I'm an alien. I think that there is righteous anger, Michael. It doesn't have to turn into sin. It depends on the case and the situation. I think it's good for unity is important. And that is true. I think even Lynn would agree. Yeah, po' boys are good. I like that too. New Mexico has some of my favorite food. They ask you green or red with every meal. Scared. Oh yeah, po' boys are excellent. Alrighty. Well, this game, nothing's going on right now in the game. And right now, we're going to go and do this research thing. All right. Pigs also eat people, so they get what they give. Scared. Joyce says, "Does anyone realize their stupidity though? There's something called the Dunning-Kruger effect, and people do not realize when they're stupid. Pig is a magical animal. They can fly and are delicious." Beware of someone who keeps the pigs. Okay, alien, I must count. Call me Count Spaceship. That is all we have to. That's all I have to say about that. I'm lurking all over the place, taking the blood of this lady here and there, seducing her in my dark castle. That is what I do. Count the count up high and say, "Scared." Moki, I am familiar with that, yes. In Europe, they put French fries on pizza. I didn't know that. That's really cool. Pigs are kosher with me. He also went to prison for biting someone's ear off. Oh, Moki, as I said, I knew about that, yes. She's talking bacon and pork ribs. Ah, that's right. That's right. Oh, okay. Okay. Moki said in Scandinavia, they put corn on pizza. Flipping corn, weirdos. That's interesting. I never knew about that. I will try it. I have never used Bisquick under a rock. I make biscuit with flour. In Italy, they have Americano pizza, which is pizza that has holding and French fries. It couldn't even make it if I tried. Pigs sometimes are mean. They'll bully you like chickens do. Oh, okay. Well, the pigs got an attitude. They might be roasted and just become fried. No pun intended. Under a rocket. I only use Bisquick for that recipe. Chile. Kind of tip, don't over the mix. I'll see if I can see that. Yeah, Justice. Anybody hear about the UAP? Okay, Justice said a little while ago. I missed it. Did anybody hear about the UAP that Russians tried to shoot down and missed? Very badly missed. Okay, we'll talk about that. I know she's not here, but we'll talk about that. My cats have permission to eat me if I'm dead. I'd eat them if I was snackish. Hilarious. Remy says Matt says I previously worked in a Muslim country for work. It's very valuable to understand other cultures, even on a basic level. I agree. I agree, Matt. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Remy's very cool. She's awesome in chat. Yeah. Yes, Miranda. I'll be there tonight at Smoke and Scan. Yeah, shout out to him. He has a good channel. Yeah, I watch him. I'll watch him later tonight. Yeah. You're welcome, Remy. You're welcome. Right. So basically, the UAP. I didn't hear about the one in Russia, but we will certainly, I'll go into that. And oh, Remy was there today. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and basically, so that is the situation with the different trials that are going on, and we cover that. All right, I'm going to talk about this controversial trial that just happened. And I'm going to talk about that. So we're going to close this window out and go there. All right. Yeah, I need to stay away from the light. Scared. Oh, I was at Smoke and Scan earlier. Yeah, Remy, I was there earlier. I didn't see you there. I didn't see you or Miranda, but I was there at the LA City Council. I will say about Courage a Cowardly Dog. Oh yeah, I love that show, Under a Rocket. I love that show. And basically, oh, thank you, Under a Rocket. Thank you. Y'all rock too. Yeah, so basically what happened was we were doing this thing where I was watching Courage the Cowardly Dog, and basically I was watching like the creator. He makes funny voices and stuff like I do, and yeah, he was talking about his, like I was looking at the history about it, and yeah, he had these different people come together to create that show, and the show was very scary for kids. They were saying, but it was still very good, and each, it was like based off of being in the middle of nowhere, and these aliens and these different weirdos would come around and try to bother them. Yes, lurking is safer sometimes. Yes, I didn't see a chase earlier. All right, this is about Courage Cowardly Dog. Okay, here we go. I'll tell you about the whole thing. All right, it's this show. Miranda, that's hilarious. All right, so that's it right there. It's this little guy right here, and he had a dog named. It was a cowardly dog he had, and that's what he named the dog after. And it was based off these people out in the middle of nowhere. I wish I was in a tent last weekend. Oh, that's very cool. You're in a tent last weekend. Oh, tell hello to your son. Shout out to your son. I'm glad that you watch. Thank you. Yeah, so this was a very great show. When I was growing up as a kid, it was around 2008, 9, and before that, like 2005, 6. I was watched this show, and it's very good, and you learn a lot of information. It's a nice scary show, and people think it was quite scary for kids, but they'll have these different villains that come. They're in the middle of nowhere, and these kind of aliens come, and these creepy villains come. They're kind of like people we would see in those trials that we watch. And Courage talks to his computer like I am. Like that's like me right now going live. And he has to save his family from his caretakers. And Eustace is kind of an abusive person, and Muriel's is kind of an airhead, but she means well. Oh, his son's watching Reacher. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So that's what happens, and that's what they have to do to. And he's always just up to the rescue and saving them. His name is Glenn, and he loves it when I mention him here. Okay. Oh, hello, Glenn. Shout out to you. Very cool. Very cool dude. I'm glad that you watching it and enjoying the show. And also, Miranda says when that evil doctor shaped Courage, you didn't need to shave his area. I felt violated. Oh yeah, it had some things in it that were very wild. And this is the eggplants that Five Cats was talking about before. Oh, you haven't watched the series yet? Okay. Oh, yeah, Joyce. I understand what he feels. I remember I was in some plays when I was growing up, and I know what he feels. I know what he feels. And there's these people that were there's some local band in New Orleans for Christmas, and I kind of somehow was able to come up where they were, and I know that feeling. I know exactly what he feels. And also, Miranda says when the evil dog. Okay, Moki says you should look into the Zimbabwe UFO sightings in 1994. The 60s people saw it and interacted with it and landed the ship. Moki, thank you and Justice that are interested in UFO talk. I still talk about the UFOs and aliens here. All right, and I that's in addition to what we talk about. And on the next stream, on the next Friday, we will talk about the trials, but I will add the UFO content as well, like we did before. But this time, the trials, there's so many I had to talk about. But yes, next time we'll talk. I'll still talk about it this time, but we talk about it even more on the next one as well. So I still haven't forgotten about the UFO stuff. That's what the channel's all about. We cannot forget my old pal from school and his mission. It's about the UFOs. We cannot forget that mission. All right, so let's see. Villains. Yeah, these are some of the villains from Courage the Cowardly Dog. And you have this roach thing. You have the creepy guy. You see that dude, the blonde dude that's smiling. That reminds me of Monica and Lori Vallow. And they had some very disturbing episodes. And it's about courage. And in the end, the dog is actually very courageous. All right, and then you have the 10. They have the creepiest villains. That's one of the creepiest villains on the show. All right, we'll go through some of the villains. Oh yeah, this guy, the barber. Yeah, this is the guy that shaved Courage. Yeah, it was that guy. All right, all right. Aunt Muriel, is this the one that you want me to show? All right, this is Aunt Muriel. Oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, I watched this growing up. I remember I watched it here. One of the first things I watched in this house when I moved in was Courage the Cowardly Dog, and also Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Like that's like when I first moved in here in 2008, I think, or seven. No, I don't remember. 2008, I think. Yeah, her. Yeah, this is Aunt Muriel. All right. Oh yeah, he's very smart, Joyce. Very smart. Yeah, so that is him right there. That is her right there. All right, so and then we will have that's Aunt Muriel. All right, and a summary about Courage, the Cowardly Dog. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to the geniuses out there. The next Elon Musk's. Yeah, facts. Let's see. Blender the Robot and Lisa. I think I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yes, it was Futurama. Yeah, yeah. All those shows are wild, but nothing like I love all those two. Oh, facts. Yeah, all hail Moki. And hello, Steve. Good to see you, buddy. I mean, I watched it with my kids. So cringe. So many episodes started with unnecessary scenes, spicy scenes. I made them close their eyes. Right. All right, so an overview about Courage the Cowardly Dog. Oh, hello, Alan. I'm glad to see you here, buddy. Good to see you. Courage the Cowardly Dog is an American animated comedy television series created by John R. Dilworth for Cartoon Network. It was produced by Dilworth's animation studio, Stretch Films. The eponymous character is an anxious dog who lives with an elderly couple, Muriel and Eustace Beige, in the farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, a fictional town in Kansas. In each episode, the Baggies are repeatedly thrown into bizarre, frequently disturbing, and often paranormal or supernatural adventures. With Courage often having to rescue his owners, the series is known for its dark, surreal humor and atmosphere. Alan, what is your verdict opinion on Monica? I know you weren't keeping up with Monica, but Monica was found guilty. Also, another opinion about the other one, Linda. Dilworth pinched the series to pitch the series to Hanna Barbera's animated shorts showcase what a cartoon and a plot titled "The Chicken from Outer Space" aired on Cartoon Network on February 18, 1996. The segment was nominated for the Academy Award but lost to Wallace and Gromit, a close shave. Scared. You have never watched the show before. Oh, it's very good. It's very good. It aired on Cartoon Network in February of 1996. The segment was nominated for Academy Award, but Wallace and Gromit got the cut. The short was greenlit to become a series which premiered on November 12, 1999 and ended on 2002 with 4 seasons consisting 13 episodes each. It was nominated on Golden Reel Awards and won the Annie Award. All right. Courage the Cowardly Dog follows Courage Marty Grabstein, a kind but easily frightened dog. He was abandoned as a puppy after his parents were sent into outer space by a crazy veteran. Soon after, he was found in an alleyway by Muriel Beige Thea White, a caring woman who decided to take Courage and as her own. The nature of this first meeting inspired her to give him his name, and the present Courage lives in an isolated farmhouse in Kansas with Muriel and her husband Eustace. Lionel Wilson 1 to 3 and Arthur Anderson in 34 to 52. A cranky and greedy man who is jealous of Courage refers to him as stupid dog and periodically uses the Ooga Booga mask to frighten him. The nearest town of the farmhouse is called Nowhere. Oh, hello, TND. Great to see you, buddy. Your first stream here. Yeah, chat rats. Courage and his owners frequently encounter monsters, aliens, zombies, and other paranormal supernatural creatures that are attracted to Nowhere. All right, thank you, Moki. Tender love, okay. And other paranormal or supernatural creatures that are attracted to Nowhere. Plots generally use conventions common to horror films, although most of the creatures the three face are hostile, others suffer from distress, anger, or depression, and sometimes are frequently on occasion. Some are even false antagonists. Tender Love is from the Long Crime Chat. Courage and his owners frequently encounter monsters. We read that. Okay. The task protecting Muriel and Eustace from such dangers falls as Courage endeavors thwart and reconcile with the monsters of the week. The remedy of the repair and damage done. Although Courage occasionally aided with the task, full of extent of his efforts is usually performed unbeknownst to Muriel and Eustace, ironically given his name. Courage may be considered a genuine hero who often goes great lengths to protect his owners. And all right, Remy, have a blessed good night. Take care. Have a great weekend. Eugene, you too. All right. Given his name, Courage may be considered a genuine hero who often goes to great lengths to protect his owners. And genuine coward who still expresses much of his distress with over the top, piercing shrieks. Although episodic in nature, there are a handful of recurring characters in the show's cast, including Courage's sarcastic, sentient computer, Simon Preble, the family physician, Dr. Vandello, Paul, a fortune telling Chihuahua, Shirley the medium, Mary Testa, Eustace's mother, May, Billy Lou Watt. Some of the villains known including Cats, LeQuack, Snowman, and the three voiced by Sheriff Falafel, and antagonistic D. Lung, Tim Chai Lee. Lie. Yeah, under a rock and Che, that sounds delicious. with the pepper jack. Yeah. All right, Joyce, understood. Good night, Glenn. All right, so that is like that's like basically a basic summary of Courage the Cowardly Dog. Well, it's nice to see you, Tender Love. I'm glad it's your first time here. You know, and earlier we were talking about Monica and how she was crying and acting ridiculous. It was hilarious. And also, some people think that the other one, Linda, was not guilty. Some people think that maybe she was not guilty. Some people have mixed feelings about Linda's situation. But yeah, she was also found guilty as well. I don't know how to say that. I guess, okay, Cecil. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, let me know. All right. And originally, Courage the Cowardly Dog was created as a 7-minute animated short, The Chicken from Outer Space. Dilworth started the animated short with Hanna-Barbera, sponsored by Cartoon Network, introduced Courage. Cecil. Okay, thank you. Dilworth started the animated short with Hanna-Barbera, sponsored by Cartoon Network, introduced Courage. Dilworth graduated with a Bachelor in Fine Arts from the School of Visual Arts in New York. In 1985, he became an art director and founded his own animation studio, Stretch Films, in 1991 and Incorporated in 1994. The character of Courage grew out of an earlier character Dilworth called Hamilton, who appeared in Smart Talk with Raisin, a pilot Dilworth created for MTV. The animated short was shown as one of the episodes of Cartoon Network's world premiere, Toons, in 1996. Hanna-Barbera cartoons, innovated by the president Fred Seibert. The short served as a de facto pilot for the future series. The original animated short had no dialogue except for one line spoken by Courage, who had more authoritative voice to Jackie Mason than in the series. It was uttered by the voice actor Howard Hoffman, who also provided with the vocal sounds and effects of the shorts. An alien chicken, who was the villain in the short, who later reappears in the series to seek vengeance. His sons also attempted to seek vengeance in even later episode, the two nomination Academy Award Best Short Film, the 68th Academy Award, but lost the Wallace and Gromit short film, Close Shave. George is there. What do I think about the Dr. Turek trial? Oh, I should have mentioned that. I think I mentioned that way earlier. But I didn't say my opinion about the verdict. It seems that he was guilty, From I wasn't at the trial all the time, but it seems that he did it, in my opinion. But there's different opinions about it. That he did it nefariously, but that he's guilty. But anybody that wants to, have a different opinion, that's fine. Oh, okay. Thanks to Glenn for telling us all good night. Awesome. Broadcast history. Courage the Cowardly Dog originally was premiered as a short on February 18, 1996. The show premiered on November 12, 1999, and became the highest rated premiere in Cartoon Network history at the time. Previews for Courage Cowardly Dog were shown in American movie theaters before Pokemon, the first movie. It ended on November 22, 2002, with 52 episodes produced in 4 seasons. It aired on Cartoon Network on November 12, 1999. The pond and rocks in the pocket did it for me. Yeah, I agree with that. That was completely cringe. Yeah, I'd say guilty too. I say guilty too. And Zivota. And he was saying he was abused and stuff. It's like, come on, he's guilty. Hello, General Sorrow. Good to see you, buddy. And Gloria. Oh, Gloria. Very nice to see you as well. And we're talking about many different things from aliens to this cartoon show to trials and stuff. So feel free to say y'all's opinions about Monica Sementelli verdict or any of the verdicts that we saw today, like Linda's verdict or the doctor verdict. I'd be interested to see what y'all's opinions are. Hey, Tom. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, the twerking doctor. Yeah, we think he's guilty. Shout out to all of you. I'm glad that y'all are here and supporting the channel. I appreciate it. John J. Needles of Pop Matters reviewed the show and called it fascinating texture, a mixture of cartoon horror and movie conventions. Enjoy to watch. Alex Mastas of Lights Out Films review the show gave it grade A and described it. The backgrounds are rich and imaginative. They composite of a lot of the show over real photos. And occasionally integrating CGI into the cartoon. It looks weird and ethereal, just like the show itself. UH says, Che, I listened to the prosecution's closing and most of the defense closing, and I agree. It does seem like confusing to figure the facts out. The defense team is doing a good job. Yeah, well, shout out to the defense in the K Tay trial. KJ Del Antonia, the Common Sense Media, gave the show 3 stars out of 5, with the summary cult fave tune plays over the top voice of laughs. Antonia warned the parents that the series contains graphic animated violence, including exploding organs, growing extra limbs, turning episodes out of your name it, you name it. Randy Miller the third on DVD talk said that shows amid at younger audiences usually don't go for thrills and chills, so it's good to see a generally surreal and slanted series developed into a decent following. Jeff Swindle of Monsters and Critics Review that the first season DVD and praised all the episodes featured in the first season and encouraged fans to buy the season's DVD, but also noted the exclusion of the original Hanna-Barbera short Chicken from Outer Space on DVD. Courage the Cowardly Dog was ranked number 5 Entertainment Weekly's in 2012 of the 10 best Cartoon Network shows. In 2023, Indian Entertainment ranked the show number 1 on the top of the 1990s. Cartoon gave special praise to the episode Courage in the Big Stinking City, stating that the show remains enjoyable in the present times. Under a Rocket says, I did not know it was a big news thing, Alien, but he has said that he is sad. Read that again. I did not know it was a big news thing, Alien, but he has said that he is surprised he was not scared. Oh yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, and maybe he has a taste for spooky things like I do. So it seems like a silly cartoon, but yeah, it's and also when you're young, you may see things differently. VHS editions of Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost and Scooby Doo and the Alien Invaders each include an episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog as a bonus. Courage the Cowardly Dog Season 1 of the 2-disc DVD set featuring all 13 episodes from the show's first season was released in Australia's Region 4 on September 12, 2007, Madman Entertainment. On January 13, 2010, the complete second season was also released, which, as of 2023, is only DVD released in the Chicken from Outer Space. Oh, he's 26. I just turned 27 in February, so we're around the same age. Yeah. Well, shout out to him. Way too much coffee, but crashed out. Scared. Rem and Stimpy were great, Joyce. They were great shows. All right, Rem and Stimpy. Thank you, Alan. Cosmic and Scared. Oh, Cat Dog. I like Cat Dog too. Also. All right, Moki. All right. We'll talk about it. Now, I will talk about the stabbing that happened. Yes, Moki. We'll talk about it. And then I'll go into Ren and Stimpy after that. All right. Track. Hello there, Shell. Good to see you. Let's see how this goes, if it makes the stream slow or not. Let's go. Okay, so Frisco track meet stabbing. Fundraiser for the teen murder. Suspect raised more than 350K. Well, let's first talk about what exactly happened. Alright, let's go here. All right. So basically, and also I want to advise people that to not view this in a racial lens. I don't think the race had anything to do with this situation, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's right what happened, and you shouldn't bring a weapon on campus. Hello, Amanda. It's great to see you here. But yes, a black young man of stabbed the a white football player, jock, of say an athlete. Okay, I don't know if the black kid, which his name is Anthony Carmelo Anthony. That is what is going on here. All right, and also as I said that we're going to talk about this now, and we're going, there's many cases we see where, for instance, in the snowplow trial, two white neighbors one attacked the other out of self-defense, allegedly, and shot the other person 6 times. So white people or any race can do this. I don't think this is anything race specific, in my opinion. And I think that the racism towards ABL that happened when he talked about his opinion about it was atrocious. So, as I said, I think that I will view this through an unbiased lens. To the race is irrelevant in this case. We're going to focus on the attack that happened and bringing a weapon on school campus and stabbing. We're going to focus on that, but I'll still talk about the race. But I just want to advise you all that I do not think race was a specific factor. I could be wrong. Maybe it is a factor, but that race was not a factor in this. All right. Okay, let's see how this goes. All right. So the brief, the fundraiser for Frisco murder suspect Carr, and rest in peace to the victim that was stabbed. All right, shouts, the neighbor that was stabbed, the person that was stabbed, Rest in peace to the young man that was unalived. That's he shouldn't. It's unfortunate that happened. Oh, I know the media makes it about race, and but I will say, Alan, what I've been seeing is that what I've been seeing is Alan. This is what I'm seeing is that the white people are angry that it was a black person that did it, and as I said, I think that it's upsetting that this happened to a young person, but I don't see them talking about like a black person was being attacked. I don't see that as much, but yeah, the media will make things about race. And yeah, the media will be cringe about it, but yeah. So as I said, I want people to not be like the media, and to not see this as a racial issue. Oh yeah, Moki, you're not supposed to bring a weapon on school grounds. All right, absolutely. And Moki says so. People who were there are saying the stabber was in the kids' tent. The defendant said to leave and go into the tent, and then no, the defendant. I get this mixed up. So the person that was stabbed, the stabber was in the kid's tent, and the white and the kid told him to leave, and they got into it, and then the defendant was stabbed, the white kid, in the heart, and he was deleted. Right. Alan says, "Let's see if you can be completely unbiased, or do you also see it through the color of race?" Alan, I do not see things through the color of race. I'm white, and I think that the racism, is something I do not fly with. And I think that basically I'm viewing this unbiasedly as two people that got into an altercation. I'm not viewing it through the racial bias. Now, if there is a racial factor I'm overlooking, then okay, that is, maybe it's a factor. But no, I lived in an area where there's black people, although my school was predominantly white. And I don't mind black or white people. I don't really care about race. It doesn't really affect me. You know, that we all bleed the same color. And also, Shell says ABL stands with the one that did the stabbing, so I will not be watching ABL any longer. Okay, Shell. Okay, understood. And okay, Moki, understood. I just don't know if you're trying to describe it a certain way, but I'm not, because it's the reason why I'm not calling them white and black kids is because, that's irrelevant. It was a kid told another kid to get off, the other kid stabs him. So in this situation, I don't know to word it that way. All right. And then I know this happened outside of what people could see is I asked. Yes, Amanda, absolutely. Yeah, it's pink in the inside. Right. All right. So the fundraising platform Give Send Go has drawn criticisms on social media for not removing the campaign. Give Send Go's co-founder Heather Wilson defended the company's decision on social media Monday. And when ABO was saying his opinion about it, I think everybody has an entitled to their opinion. Like in the trial chats, people think someone's innocent, some people think other people are guilty. And even if he may be wrong, everybody's entitled to their opinion. And I think that people were being racist towards him, and I don't think that was right. But yeah, I do think, Shell, it's wrong for somebody to bring a weapon on a campus and stab somebody. I do think it seems like an overreaction, and I wasn't there, but it's usually something we wouldn't do on that situation, right? And it was unfortunate that happened, and rest in peace to the person that passed away. Or I should say the white kid that passed away. So specifically. All right. Anthony, 17, was charged with murder after the stabbing of the 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track meet last week. Carmelo Anthony fundraiser. Alan, I never said I supported a GoFundMe page. I never said that. You're making up stuff about me now. I look, I don't even support this. I never said I supported it. I'm just reading an article. By the numbers, as of Wednesday afternoon, fundraisers on as of Wednesday afternoon, a fundraiser Give Send Go have brought in more than 285,000. It has a goal of 350,000. A message on the page from Anthony's family reads, "This is the official support fund for Carmelo and his family during the challenging, difficult time." Alan, I'm reading an article, and the page is on the article. I'm reading Fox 4 to you all, and the page happens to be, they put a picture of it to show you all what the page was. I'm not supporting anything. I'm just showing you all the article. A message on the page from Anthony's family reads, quote, "This is the official support for the Carmelo and his family during his challenging and difficult time." Quote, "The narrative being spread is false, unjust, and harmful. As family of faith, we are deeply grateful for the support during trying period. Your prayers and assistance mean more to us now than more than ever." And I'm not making any opinion about this. I'm just reading all the news. As I said, I'm reading all the news. I'm not even saying an opinion about it. The fundraising has generated outrage on social media, with people calling the platform to stop allowing donations. And it's like they have donations for this person who stabbed somebody. And if it was a white person, would people be donating as much money? You know what I mean? Like, is it a racial motivation behind this? Are people being biased and supporting the defendant and giving him money because of his color? Is that possible? Also, is it possible that we are, that if it was a white person, would he get as much donations? That's something to think about. Yeah, it's the white people's Rodney King. Quote, "The narrative being spread is false, unjust, and harmful. As a family of faith, we are deeply grateful for all of your support during this trying period. Your prayers and assistance mean more to us more than ever." Yeah, Smokey, I agree. And as I said, this is an emotionally charged situation, and there's very bad racial tensions in this country. All right? So everybody just be at ease. And as I said, I do not support, Alan, I do not support bringing... Alan, you are right. There's a lot of hate towards us white people. That's true. But there are many black people and other people that are not white, that are fine people. And Alan, I understand your frustration. I'm also hated too by the people that you're referring to. I understand. We cannot let our emotions get the best of us. It's easier said than done. And look, Tom Farrell said a very good point. Rittenhouse was allowed to have a GoFundMe, had to have a Give, Send, Go. And Alan, think about this. The Rittenhouse wasn't allowed to have a GoFundMe, But this person is. What is that? What is that's a bias, I think, in my opinion. Why does he get a GoFundMe when he goes and stabs somebody because somebody pushed him? It's this, overreaction. And then he got this person that was defending himself, but he can't get a GoFundMe because he's white. You see, Alan, the bias here, but the media does, in my opinion. So I understand what you mean. I'm not supporting this or anything. Like at my school, they call police on you if you bring a weapon on school campus. All right, you're not supposed to do that. All right. Right. There's very fine people on both sides. Alan says he gets hated for being gay. That got fixed. Now I'm being hated for being male and being white. Well, I understand, Alan, and I understand it's okay. It's very difficult for what you went through. All right. And I am not against you. How are you? That or whatever you are, I'm not against you. And I said I am white. Okay, I'm white, and you and I are in the same boat. All right. As I said, I'm just reading the news, but I understand you've been through a lot. And Shell is saying, I'm sick and tired of the aggressors playing the victim. Seems to be happening a lot lately. Shell, it is happening a lot lately. It is. I do agree with you. Absolutely. And, I think right now chat might be scared. Scared. All right, Alan, understood. You're all right, man. You're all right, buddy. I understand. Moki says, I love white men. Well, not the ones that murdered their wives, but most of them. And Moki, that's okay. You could go with that. White men are awesome. I'm a white man. And you could just go with white men if you want to. That's nothing wrong with that. Nothing's wrong about that. It's just what I have a problem with is if people were to be against an entire group of people over actions of some other people. And you're not doing that. But yeah, Moki, be proud. White, being European, being white, that's fine. That's all good. I like being European, being white. But that doesn't mean I'm against other people, though. I'm not against other groups, though. Not that you are. I'm just saying. I'd say so. Moki, I love white women. I like all women. But also I like white women too. So I understand. All right, the narrative being spread. The narrative being spread is false, unjust, and harmful. As a family of... Okay, I read that. The fundraising has generated outrage on social media with people calling the platform to stop allowing donations. And Moki says that she has tasted the rainbow. Scared. Well, that's good. That's good for you. Whatever floats your boat. If you just like white people or not, that's up to you. On YouTube, I have ladies of all different races. That I like all of them. But also, I like my own kind too. My own. Well, we're all the same kind. But I also like white women also, and all the other women as well. I like all of them. But yeah, I understand what you mean. The fundraiser has generated outrage on social media, people calling on the platform to stop allowing donations. Give Spend Go's co-founder Heather Wilson defended the platform's decision to leave the campaign on X. All right, we have some chat I want to read. All right. UH says, for the record, Rittenhouse fundraiser was taken down from GoFundMe. Carmelio's GoFundMe was also taken down. His fundraiser is on Give Send Go, which allows defense funds, so it isn't bias. Okay, thank you for the information. It wasn't bias. Okay, that case is closed. Once you're white, you never go back. All right. Sometimes you got to vent. All right. Okay. All right. And also, what they're saying, I wanted to share my perspective. I want to share my perspective on the ongoing discussions about whether we should allow fundraising for individuals who've charged with a crime. Wilson said, "We're now seeing similar outrage from the right as we once did from the left when we allowed campaigns for Kyle Rittenhouse and Daniel Penny. Both of these cases, we upheld the principle that someone is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Shouldn't that same stand apply as here as well?" And yeah, shout out to Duke. All right. And then all lives matter and we all are biracially mixed. All right. Understood. Imagine if a white people were like defined what white is. Oh well. And from my grandma's mixed Scottish mixes, Steve, you have lots of races. You're considered alien is all over that general. Once you're green, you get UFO ride. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Steve, I'm sure have Irish, Scottish, or other white races mixed. If you're talking white, there's many places. All right. Let's see. Shell. What's it? What did Shell say? I like tall, funny, fit men. Oh, right on. Right on. A lot of people's skin color doesn't show what their race actually is. That's true. All right. I am Allie of the LG and B. I don't know what all that other shit is. Oh, okay, Moki. Okay. Well, that's fine. That's all cool. That's all good. And shout out to you for that. All right. Shout out to you. This is going better than the ABL live chat did. All right. And what they're saying, I want to share my perspective on the ongoing discussion about whether we should allow fundraising for individuals who have been charged with a crime. Wilson said we're seeing similar outrages from the right as we okay. Wilson went to say that people donated all three campaigns to support due to the process and fair trial. And so Miranda said right, but ethnics and race are technically the same thing. Some people don't like who they are. There's a lot of people that think that they aren't certain ethnicities and certain races. Moki says, imagine if white people said shop white businesses. The hypocrisy is great. And it's been liberal guilt that has gotten us to this place. I'm guilty of it too. Understood, Moki. None of us are perfect people. And the racial tensions are very bad. And there seems to be a favoritism towards certain races over other races. Like Darrell Brooks wasn't charged for a hate crime against white people when he was clearly against white people. So I believe that there could be a bias, definitely. And some people that were black that were kind of goofy, were kind of goofy to me sometimes for being white. But as I said, there's so many people that weren't like that. I brush it off. But no, y'all that feel that the whites have been being attacked, y'all are justified to think that, okay? It's understandable. We have been. But I think that we have to stop the racial divide and come together as a country as much as possible. We have to be as united as possible. But it may take some time, but y'all feel the way y'all feel about it is fine. It's normal, all right? Hi, everyone. Why did the defense try to make Fabio seem aggressive? The reason why the defense tried to make Fabio seem aggressive is because they're trying to say that there is a justification for Monica to want to leave him and trying to make Fabio look bad. And you could say maybe they're trying to, if she was convicted, you could try to say she was like for self-defense. But, it's all nonsense. So they're trying to ruin Fabio's name. And also, Miranda said, Steve, right, great point. Yeah, people say they're biracial and they're white, but it doesn't count their opinions. Right, okay, right on. And Moki says that started affecting my kids. Oh no, that's terrible. What it was for me, Donios. Well, thank you, Miranda. Right, yeah, right on. Yeah. Good job, chat. Y'all are doing good. Y'all are doing excellent, okay? Y'all are doing excellent. All right. And Moki says, I would never trans my kid. Never do that. I completely agree. That's terrible. But he was in puberty, and maybe this is TMI. He was going down the rabbit hole. My husband and I were like, no, you need to get off the internet. Right on. Well, that's good, Moki. I'm glad he's fine now. Scared. And Shell, you are correct. That is true. But if every single person would not be like that, we could make the world a better place. So even though there are people like that, and we cannot control that if people are like that, and you are correct, Shell, you are right. And we only can control what we can control, which is our own actions. But you're right, absolutely, Shell. Scared. It's a trend for kids going through puberty, which is really hard time and terrible. Absolutely. Moki, Miranda says we love a traditional gay. Exactly. Yes, we do. Yes, Moki, I agree. I agree. Yeah. Scared. From the beginning, we decided that Give, Send, Go would not serve. Give, Send, Go would not serve as a judge and jury. We're not here to decide who deserves a defense. That's the role of our justice system. Wilson said the right was outraged when GoFundMe removed Rittenhouse's campaign. So now you're believing big tech should censor based on their personal beliefs around the situation. Wilson urged people to let the court decide and not succumb to the mob outrage. Several GoFundMe campaigns for Anthony have been deleted by the platform. Yes, Miranda and Moki, shout out to the real gays. Yes. All right, so transitioning your kids. So there's this thing where people want to make their children transgender. Like a kid wears lipstick or he likes the pink and they want to make them into trans people. That's what they were talking about. There's no light without dark, my friend. GoFundMe's terms and services prohibit fundraisers for legal defense violating crimes. Consistent with long standing policy, any fundraiser for legal defense, someone charged with a violent crime are removed from the platform and fully refunded. A GoFundMe spokesperson said in the statement. The Anthony family said in a statement that they were never behind on GoFundMe accounts. Any GoFundMe accounts is not authorized, endorsed by the family. Please do not use GoFundMe of any donations. Carmelio Anthony's family, the Anthony family said in a statement. Anthony is due to court on Monday. His defense team is asking reduction for his bond for to reduce it from 1 million. All right. Yeah, Steve, that is dark. Yeah, right on chat. Right on chat. All right. I will say that chat, y'all are doing excellent with this conversation. It's going better than ABL's chat did. I can't stop saying that. No. As I said, I'll say my opinion about this. All right. But I'm not biased about this. Like I'm just reading like generically. All right. All right. So now we have this other information. All right. Shell says if I was growing up in today's society back then, I was a tomboy, never wore a dress, played with Barbies, etc. Played high school football. Some teachers might have talked me into trans. Ah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Shell. Hello, Gregatron, my bro. Good to see you, buddy. Joy's puberty is a roller coaster. Should have anything permit doing it puberty. All right, Moki. ABL is this conservative commentator, Anthony Brian Logan. He taught. I call into his show, and he taught me about how to do live streams. And I will say that he has a call-in show that people call on, and I have the function too. I also have a feature where people can call into my show. I haven't used it lately, but I could also do call-ins as well. But yeah, so ABL does call-ins, and he talks about like conservative commentary. Cecil, I think that the chat is very on fire right now. It's very active in this heated, sensitive topic, and I think that they're actually getting along well, and they're having a good dialogue about this dark topic, and it seems like it's going smoothly, but it's a very dark situation. But there's no light without dark. Scared. I did it. Texas charged with murder and track meet stabbing claim self defense. Hilarious, Alan. I don't mind opening up the lines for people to call in. That doesn't bother me. A Texas student athlete who allegedly stabbed another at a track meet admitted to doing so in self defense, police records show. Central High School student Carmelio Anthony, 17, has been charged with first degree murder for allegedly stabbing Austin Meekhoff in the heart at a high school track meet in Frisco Independent School District's Cayudal Stadium on April 2. Metcalf, as of 17, was a student at Memorial High School located 3 miles north in the crime scene. The altercation between Metcalf and Anthony occurred around 10 a.m. Police say the two were involved in disagreement over the seat in a track meet before Anthony wielded a knife and stabbed Metcalf. Social condemnation, absolutely. I saw a mother, if that's what you want to call it, cutting off her female disabled child's breasts, and that's why I am a who I am today because I don't like stuff like that. That's why I have a big mouth too. Oh, that's terrible, Miranda. That's terrible. I'm glad that you see the dots don't always make sense in the moment, but they make sense looking back, and it made you who you are today. I was one too, Moki. Miranda, that's fine. That's fine. There's a lot of people that are against it happening to children. That's fine. Hate to burst your bubble, but there's transgender people who advocate children's rights, and most of them agree it's only for adults because the X word is for adults. Hopefully you're okay with that. Yeah, that's fine. People can do what they want. As adults, they can transition if they want to, but just leave the kids out of it. Minors can't give consent. What happens at aliens stays at aliens. Scared. Shell did say something. I want to read that. Oh yeah, she said that. She said something else though. Did I may have read it. Oh yeah, I read that already. Okay. Athletic trainers told the first responders Metcalf was not consensus and not breathing, according to the arrest warrant affidavit obtained by USA Today. First responders performed life-saving measures on the wounded victim from CPR to blood administration, but the teen was deleted at the scene. Anthony is currently being held in the Collin County Jail on $1 million bond. Right on. Says, Steve, another thing is lies about trans people. Conservative talk shows say false things like litter boxes are in classrooms and tens of thousands of whatever. If threat is no real, no lie. It's a lie. My junior, okay. All right, thank you for your take on this. Authentic trainers told the first responders. All right, we read that. All right, come on, page. Scared. I did it, defendant told school resource officer. Officer Eduardo Cortez, a school resource officer, was the first to arrive at the scene, according to the affidavit. I was protecting myself, Anthony allegedly said, unprovoked, when Cortez told him to keep his hands in the air. The officer communicated to others that he had the alleged suspect in custody, which Anthony said, I'm not alleged, I did it. When I'm in our boys' alien room, I feel more free to speak my mind. When I'm in Law and Crimes chat, I feel like I have to follow the law more. Yeah, brother. Yeah, be as unhinged as you want. Be free here. It's okay. And as I said, I don't mind if people are LGB, etc. I don't mind if people are whatever race, whatever political philosophy. Everybody's welcomed here, and there should be no oppressive government telling people what to do. Yeah. So as I said, everybody's free to be here. I did it. A defendant told school resource officer, Officer Eduardo Cortez, a school resource officer, was the first to arrive at the scene, according to the affidavit. I was protecting myself, Anthony allegedly said, unprovoked, when Cortez told him to keep his hand in the air. Officers then communicated to others that he had the alleged suspect in custody, which Anthony said, I'm not alleged, I did it. And chat, I want to congratulate you all for being civilized and having a healthy debate discussion about this. Thank you. And I didn't seem to trigger people like ABL did. For some reason, I don't know. And Cortez conducted a search and found no weapons on Anthony. The affidavit states that while walking to the police vehicle with Cortez and another officer, Anthony was emotional and said, he has his hands on me. I told him not to. Another officer scene described Anthony as crying hysterically once the subject inside the vehicle noticed fresh blood on his left hand. Yeah, we are the greatest GM. Scared. Mookie. I need my Mookie. Quote, is he going to be okay? End quote. Anthony alleged asked from the backseat officer, Allison Risai, who assisted Cortez, reported that Anthony asked if what he did could be considered self-defense. While first responders tried to save Metcalf under a nearby tent, other investigators at the scene began looking for a knife they heard Anthony had been used to stab Metcalf. Per affidavit, investigators found the knife on the stand. Alan, you're hilarious, dude. Your spice. I love how you spice up the chat. Hey, Ken. It's a spicy chat. No, it's just we're talking about the stabbing, when they said that when the black kid stabbed the white kid. Yeah, it's oh, scared. While first responders tried to save Metcalf under the tent, other investigators at the scene began looking for a knife, and they heard had used to stab Metcalf. Pretend the affidavit investigators at a knife in the stand. Okay, under a rocket. You've been here for a long time. Thank you for being here. I really been enjoying you in the chat. All right, this is the next part. All right. Yeah, absolutely. I was I was a Democrat growing up, and I come from generations of them from my mom's side. But you know, I kind of changed positions on them, but it doesn't mean that there's things I agree with on one side or the other. It doesn't mean that the right side is always correct and vice versa. But yeah, I understand what you mean, Moki. Touch me and see what happens. All right, this is the next part. And Shell said a very good point. Investigators spoke to over a dozen people who saw what happened, including Memorial High School track team member. Per affidavit, one witness told authorities that he was sitting under a Memorial High School tent with team while Metcalf and Anthony were sitting nearby. Anthony was sitting under the team's tent, and Metcalf told that he needed to move. The witness said, according to the documentation, scared. Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it up, and reached inside and proceeded to tell Metcalf, touch me and see what happens, the affidavit said. Metcalf touched Anthony, who then told Metcalf to punch him and see what happens. The witness said Metcalf then grabbed Anthony to tell him to move again. So he's getting aggressive and putting hands on people. Oh, they're probably watching and eating popcorn. Some of these schools are just degenerate, in my opinion. And my school wouldn't fly with that, as you know. They would have called the police immediately. Yeah, they were always on ball. So yeah, okay. So it's wrong. I think that we should not, put hands on other people. And Shell said, when I was in high school track, it was known for a fact that stay out of other schools' area of assignment. Yes, and as I said, but I do think putting hands on people and punching people is also wrong at the same time. But of course, stabbing someone in the chest over something that could be minor may not be the best thing either. It's certainly not the best thing either. We could agree on that. And Said my school would have called police so quickly before anything was pulled out. They were very strict. All right, they wouldn't play. Yeah, he would have. Yeah, and see what happens. Witness. You could even say that the coaches did neglect. Metcalf said grabbed Anthony and moved again, and that's when Anthony pulled a knife and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest before running away, according to the affidavit. Metcalf began grabbing his chest and telling people to get help. The affidavit said he was pronounced deleted shortly after. Some real weak indica I was normally getting. Under a rock, yes. So glad I had the cakesters from everyone. Uh-oh, Duke's touching me. Uh-oh. He's better watch out. I'm joking. I'm joking. All right. Now, so the point here is that we have, yes, he shouldn't have touched him and pushed him, but the other person, okay, one thing I want to make clear about this. We're getting close to hearing about what I have to say about this. It is illegal to bring a knife on school campus. It's illegal to bring a weapon. If you're at a bar, you're out in public, maybe hypothetically if you're at a ball game at a real park, okay, maybe that's different. But this is a campus. You're not supposed to bring weapons on campus. And also, the other person, he wasn't supposed to be in the tent. Under a rocket. Peace, blessings to you. Have a great weekend. And at the other hand, the white kid, we'll call him the white kid pushing him, it's best to keep hands to yourself, but at the same time, he's not supposed to be in a certain tent. Not supposed to be in a certain tent. And it is raining, and maybe we could since it's raining, maybe we could give people consideration to stay there until the rain lifts up and then go. But I will say that now bullying can be very bad, and fights can be very bad, and it's best to do push-ups and learn how to self-defend yourself without a knife. But as I said, a knife and all, I do not think it was necessary, but I was not there, so I do not know, the circumstances. But, yeah, I think that this could be, on both sides, could be, this should have been de-escalated by a teacher. And it was unfortunate that the young man passed away, rest in peace. And he could have, cut him, and not stabbed him in the heart, but he shouldn't have cut him at all. And he shouldn't have a weapon on school campus. And as I said, if it was out in public or a ball game, maybe it would be more reasonable. But this, I don't know. If it's raining, let the guy stay under a tent if it's raining. Don't need to get overreact. But this other dude really, really overreacted maybe by taking a knife and stabbing a guy in the chest. But as I said, I'm not viewing this through a racial lens. I'm viewing it through two humans getting into a fight. An altercation occurred. That's how I'm viewing it. Yeah, weapons are not allowed on school campus. And cans should be kept to yourself. If it's raining, maybe we could let people stay under a tent, and then when the rain's over with, they could go back to their other tent. Now, allegedly, from Moki and other people are saying he was stealing. Was he going and stealing in different tents? Was he being a thug? Was he doing something like that? Let's see how the trial goes and more information comes out about that. And yes, maybe if it's out in public and somebody has another knife or somebody's getting into an altercation, maybe somebody would need to, do that again and see what happens. But this situation on a campus, I don't know if such drastic measures should have been taken. I I certainly wouldn't think it's necessary. You need to bring out an AR-15. You need to bring out a bazooka or something, And Silver says the black kid was arrogant. Absolutely. Absolutely. Scared. So I sound like a broken tape recorder I sound like a broken machine for a second. Well, I like how the camera is not even pointed at me. All right, so here we go. There we go. We can see Alien correctly. All right. Allen said, regardless of the actual facts, the spin from the media is ridiculous, as per usual. I hate the spin the media puts on everything. I agree, Allen. I agree. The media is so cringe and they've completely divided our country. Absolutely. Carmelo Anthony's bond hearing set for April 14. All right. On April 4, a local NBC outlet spoke to Anthony's lawyer, Derek Walpole. I know that my. Thank you, Alan. Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't. When I meant a broken record, I meant like a broken machine because my voice crackled. I couldn't think of the word. Okay, quote. I know that my client said it was self defense. I don't have any reason to disbelieve that, but I need to develop facts, talk to people, and figure out what's going on before I make any statements about what I think happened. Walpole told NBC5 DFW, I don't have any reason to think it wasn't self defense at the time. Scared. Duke said he was stealing the tent. He was trying to hijack the tent. Walpole also requested hearing for this week to have Anthony's $1 million bond lowered. The bond hearing has been scheduled for Monday, April 14, according to Collin County Court records. You had a few rums and cokes tonight. I could tell. Fake accounts spread misinformation about the white kid's death. The day after the tragedy. All right, General Sorrow, peace. Good night. The day after the tragedy, the police department made another post warning of fake accounts on social media purporting to department made another post warning of a fake account on social media purporting to belong to Chef David Silson. The public was encouraged to rely solely on the department's verified accounts for accurate information. The fake account alleged that the stabbing was a result of a mutual combat acceleration initiated by Metcalf. Sucker punched Anthony according to Click to Houston. The post also say Metcalf smashed Anthony's phone into one bleacher. This claim has not been confirmed by law enforcement. In a statement, Silson explains the impersonation of a law enforcement officer, quote, is criminal offense and a third-degree felony who be investigated. On Friday, officials reported that yet another social media account was sharing false information about the case. A fabricated photo of document from the county medical examiner states Metcalf's primary cause of deletion was MDMA drug overdose, listing the blood loss from a stab wound as secondary cause. Yeah, shout out to all the people that liked the video. Yeah, shout out to the 21. Yeah. The Frisco Police Department is aware of an image circulating on social media purporting to be report of the Collin County Medical Examiner's Office. The post reads, quote, "At this time, report has not been released. Therefore, any information currently found online is false." Scared. Only official release. Yes, this is the Camarlo case. Yes, this is the Camarlo case. Correct. Only official releases from verified accounts should be trusted. Do not contribute to the manifestation of spreading unconfirmed information. Yeah, shout out to Moki. Scared. Donations for Austin Metcalf's family pour in on GoFundMe. The day of his son's deletion, Jeff Metcalf launched a GoFundMe campaign asking for donations to honor Austin. The father praised his son's leadership and passion along with his success and supports while maintaining a 4.0 GPA. Duke says, I also figured this didn't start under that tent. Been going on a while, at least a couple of hours. Okay. Okay, understood, Duke. Thank you for your theory. I'll go back and read it, okay? I'll go back and read it. We'll see what they're saying here. All right. Here we go. All right. The Daniel Penny case made you very mad. On Friday, officials reported that yet another social media account was sharing false information about the case. A fabricated photo of the documents from the county medical examiners state that Metcalf's primary cause of death was an MDMA drug overdose, listing blood loss from a stab wound as a secondary cause. This, Steve, this is fake news. It's fake information. It was what a troll account was saying that the victim, the white kid, was also having an MDMA overdose, but that's been proven false. It was just what a BS troll account was saying. Shooting for the stars makes me scared. Oh, okay, Steve, understood. He was a bright young man with a great future ahead of him. Jeff Metcalf wrote, he was looking forward to taking his game to the next level. His commitment, dedication, and leadership, sheer grit, made him rise to the level of success that he desired. And it's such a shame. You know what you could also do? If somebody pushes you, you could make it into something funny and make a joke out of it. And make everybody laugh. You don't have to go and stab somebody. So yeah, so chat, don't think that I support stuff like this. As I said, somebody's in a... Oh, Moki's gonna have a headache. Oh. Scared. There I go again. But no, as I said, we could try to... And look, it's a game. Now, from the Columbine bullying incident that may have caused the school shooting, the teachers and coaches and nobody did anything about the bullied kids. And they actually helped bully them. So did the kid think he had no way out and he had no other way to defend himself? It's still wrong what he did, though. And a coach should have been called. Alan says, Moki, the case that really made me mad was Zach Anderson case. They found him guilty, and I think the jury was wrong on that case. And Chase said, I remember that case, Alan, that he was supposedly stalking the boyfriend of his ex. All right, Moki. Okay, understood. Because it's it making me scared. Alrighty, let's see. Alright, we're going to continue. We're going to continue, everybody. Steve, in some sense he was being bullied, but I want to explain something. Alright. So, in some sense, he probably was being bullied, but in a minor way in that specific incident. In that specific incident, it was a minor, but it was also something that could go extreme. It could go and turn to a bad fight. But look, if a fight broke out, the teachers would have been called, and the football player, the white kid, would have been in trouble, and not him. And also, Steve, like the Columbine incident, there was years and years that these kids were bullied, and no one did anything, and they were going to probably do something illegal anyway. They were criminals. There was something that was wrong with them, okay? But they felt there's no way out, so they did a stabbing. So I don't know what happened to that kid in his life, the black kid. I don't know what happened in his life for him to think that he had to do something like that. I don't know what it was, or if it happened to him more often than not. I don't know the whole story. But yeah, in this situation, it was just a little tussle. But like I said, if he would have let the football player beat him up, the football player would have gotten, the white kid would have gotten in trouble, and no one would like him. And especially since he is black, the whole world would have been set on fire, and the whole country would have been burnt down over it, probably. So, as I said, I don't know if it's bullying or not. I wasn't there, but yeah, I understand what you're saying, Steve. All right. Quote, we will remember him for the way he impacted others' lives. I love you forever, son. It was not goodbye. It was see you later. God will take care of us till we meet again. Rest in peace. Love, Dad. That is a very heartbreaking quote. And also I will say that this reminds me in a small scale of the Columbine incident, where they, on a very small scale, because Dylan and Eric wanted to blow up the school, but they did a shooting instead. But they're going to shoot people that were coming out. But they had to go do the shooting because they couldn't even build a bomb right. You know, because this is what they probably did wrong. The timer they were using was uh, it was made out of plastic, so it may have not have reacted correctly because they switched the type. What it was used to be metal, and also they may have gotten AM and PM mixed up. But thankfully they didn't blow it up. But unfortunately they shot it. So yeah, and remember, like Steve, another thing I want to say about this is that men, specifically, a lot of times I think, in society in general, they get into their emotions. So if they feel like they want to stab somebody or they want to go beat up somebody, they just do it without thinking. Like, for instance, you got to, like, that's why these things happen, Steve, or these stabbings happen, or the other person pushing him. The reason why this happens is because men are so emotional. People have to be, easier said than done, preferably people have to control themselves as best as possible and not do things like this with proper discipline and guidance. So, yeah, I think that it's a decay of our society, also. Exactly, Steve. Right. All right, a little bit more, then we'll be done about this. And then the final thing will be about the alien thing. All right. I am not familiar with that one, Shay. I'm not familiar with it. Quote, we remember, okay, as of Friday morning, Jeff Metcalf's campaign had raised over 325,000. Another GoFundMe campaign was started by Carrie Ordus, was according to the campaign owner of the local prize area, where Austin Metcalf, twin brother Hunter, and their mother Megan worked alongside the campaign Ordaz and told the local news outlet WFAA that she planning a fundraiser at her business. Guidance and care and loving role model helps those crucial years. UH says Ashley Bayfield, I think she have been found not guilty, and if she was found guilty, judge should have only given her a few years. I'm not sure she is innocent, but her defense is reasonable. Right, right on. All right. So that is it about that one. Now I'm going to talk about this alien incident that occurred. And next time, I will talk about trials and more about UFOs. So I'll talk also more about UFOs because we haven't talked about that in a while. All right, but right now we'll talk about UFOs. All right. Aerial school UFO incident. On September 16, 1994, there was a UFO sighting outside Rowa, Zimbabwe. 62 pupils in the aerial school aged between 6 and 12 said they saw one or more silver craft descend from the sky and land in a field near their school. Some of their children claimed that one or more creatures dressed in all black then appeared and telepathically communicated with them a message with an environmental theme, frightening them and causing them to cry. We're talking about the aerial school UFO incident that happened in Zimbabwe to these kids. The 14 writer Jerome Clark has called the incident the most remarkable close encounter of the third kind of the 1990s, some skeptics have described the incident as mass hysteria. Not all children at the school that day stated that they saw something. Several of other those that did maintain that their account was incident was true. Background: Rua is a small agricultural center located in 22 kilometers southeast of the capital of Harar. Harar. At the time of the incident, it was not a town but only a local place, named little more than Crossroad, an agricultural region. Ah, you know about this incident. All right. Alan, understood. Ariel's school was an expensive private school. Most of the pupils were from wealthy white families in Harar. 2 days prior to the incident at Ariel, there had been a number of UFO sightings throughout the southern Africa. There had been numerous reports of bright fireball passing through the sky at night. Many people answered ZBC's radio requests to call in and describe what they had seen. Although some witnesses interpreted the fireball as a comet or meteor, it resulted in a wave of UFO mania in Zimbabwe at the time. I agree, Alan. Absolutely. They saw aliens. According to the skeptic Brian Dunning, the fireball has been the re-entry Zent 2 rocket from the Cosmos 2290 satellite launch. The boosters broke up and burned streaks as it moved silently across the sky, giving an impression of light showed to the millions of Africans. Local UFO researcher Cynthia, look, my grandma's named this. I should know this. Cynthia Hind recorded that other alien sightings at this time, including daylight sightings by a young boy and his mother, and report of alien beings on the road by a trucker. Incident: the sightings at the Ariel occurred at 10 a.m. On 16 September 1994, when pupils were outside the mid-morning break. The adult faculty in the school were inside having a meeting at the time. The entire incident lasted about 15 minutes. When the children returned to class, they told teachers that they had seen but were dismissed. When they returned home, they told their parents. Many of those parents came to the school the next day and discussed what happened with the faculty. The sightings was reported on ZBC radio, where Cynthia Hind learned about it. The BBC's correspondent Zimbabwe, the Tim Leach, visited the school on 9 September to film interviews with pupils and staff. After investigating the incident, Leach stated, "I could handle war zone, but I could not handle this." Hind visited the school on September 1994. She interviewed some of the children and asked them to draw pictures of what they had seen. She reported that the children all told her the same story. That November, Harvard University professor psychiatry and Pulitzer Prize-winning author John Mack visited Ariel School to interview witnesses throughout the 1990s. Mack had investigated UFO sightings and UFO abductions and the phenomena. Steve said low-flying fireballs like fireballs, not like UFOs. And they independently recounted re-encounter and drew pictures. According to the According to the interviews of Hind, Leach, Mack, and 62 children between the ages of 6 and 12, said they had seen at least one UFO. One or more silver objects, usually described as discs, appeared in the sky. They then floated down. They then floated down. Leach, Max 62, children between the ages of 6 and 12. They said they had seen at least one UFO, one or more silver objects, usually described as discs, appeared in the sky. They then floated down to the field of brush and the small trees just outside the school property. Between 1 and 4 creatures with big eyes and dressed all black exited a craft and approached the children. At this point, many of the children ran, but some, mostly older pupils, stayed and watched the approach. According to Mac's interview, the children or creatures then telepathically communicated to the children an environmental message before returning to the craft and flying away. According to Dunning, the telepathic message aspect of the story was not included in Hind or Leach's reports, only Max, although Hind reported it later. In Mac's interviews, one fifth grader tells how he was warned about something that was going to happen. The pollution musted be. Pollution musted be. An 11-year-old girl, Mac, I think they want people to know that we're actually making harm to this world, and we must get to technologyized. Oh no, I have to read this again. All right. I think they want people to know they were actually making harm to this world. It mustn't get to technologized. Technologed. It's technologed. One child said that he was told the world end because they are not taking care of the planet. Thank you, Alan, for the compliment, and I'm glad that you enjoy my hosting. Thank you, friend. And I enjoy your zealous commentary in the chat. The children were admitted that they had not seen a plane. Hind noted that different cultural backgrounds of children gave the rise to different interpretations of what they had seen, and they did not all believe that they had seen extraterrestrials. She noted that some of the children thought the short little beings were Tikoleshis, creatures Shona and Nebeldul folklore. All right, dude. Thank you. All right. C. Sil. Understood. All right, a little bit more. All right. The children were admitted. A shout out to Murray Toodles. The children were admitted. I read that. All right. The aerial school UFO incident quickly became one of the most UFO causes in Africa. On a June 21 episode of the BBC's Witness History, the event was described one of the most significant events of UFO history. UFOologists continue to cite the case as providing compelling evidence of extraterrestrial visits to Earth. Skeptics have suggested the incident could be explained mass hysteria or a prank. Gideon Reed proposed the hypothesis of a confusion with touring puppets showing designed to promote awareness around AIDS. It's alternately been argued that children scared misidentified a dust devil. But that, seeing a silver UFO and seeing some people walk out of it's not the same thing as seeing a dust devil. Oh, there's many types of UFOs. There are cigar-shaped UFOs. There's flying saucers. There's triangle ones. They're pretty much of all different shapes. Also, there are orbs and there's fireballs. There's a couple different ones, and some that they believe are just beings. Like the whole thing, the UFO is like an organism. Hind interviewed children in groups of 4 and 6, with every other child allowed to listen, so their stories were cross contaminated. Mack only interviewed the children 2 months after the alleged sighting, and Dunning said Mack, as known as environmentalists, promoted the suggested that the telepathic communication angle, which is not present in Hind's previous report. Several of the witnesses maintain that what was reported is true. In 2014, male guardian spoke to one of the witnesses who said that she fears that the creatures will return, that she can sense when they are back in the atmosphere. 2016 witness Emily Trim exhibited paintings that she described as manifestation of messages and she's received from beings that day. On June 21, Barstool Sports writer Jay spoke in an interview about being a pupil and Ariel that day. He recounted that he saw a bright light come down from the sky and aliens exist. Spoke an interview about being a pupil in Ariel that day. He recounted that he saw a bright light come down from the sky and the aliens exist. Other witnesses were interviewed for the 2020 documentary Phenomenon and spoke about the experience has affected them. In 2023, Netflix documentary called Encounters, a former student named Darlene claims that he was beyond the incident. He claimed that he purposely told the classmates that and other students that a shiny rock in the distance was a UFO, according to his own statement. The documentary, he never thought this work was surprised about the mass hysteria. Darlene's claims in the documentary directly contradict claims made on camera 15 years prior to the document describing UFO as having light with flash and different color of the sky. Thank you, Alan. That's very nice of you to say. All right, let's see what's going on with the chat. All right, Moki, I did it. That's a very great story. I'll continue to review this. Thank you. First guy who dropping bombs and dropping first guy who was dropping N bombs and saying IDGF shoot me was being a hero. The guy who was also released that night from prison for child rape. says Che. However, the prosecutor in the case did a horrendous job, and it's surprising he lost the case. He didn't even know how he was going to try the case until the very end. It's too late. Steve, I see how it could make you the case of court of law, but really don't believe that. I agree. Prosecutor was horrible and just couldn't keep up with it. says, Steve, before we were having a good faith conversation. Me now, you're implying I called someone a hero. I never said such a thing. I am only trying to figure out how the law would apply to the facts. You said he charged Rittenhouse because he was pointing a pew-pew. I figured you were implying that trying to be heroic. Nope. Still alive. Tasman was busy exploring the interwebs. And Alan said, everybody chill out because aliens talking about aliens and spaceships and things like that. And UH says, okay, Steve, let's assume your facts are accurate and see if there's comfort in marching. It changes your mind. Let's assume that Kyle did point the pew pew at someone and then the guy charged Kyle with the pew pew. Steve said, Alan, you started this convo. I said nothing and now you're like, please don't be negative. UH said, would you say Kyle is using self-defense or the guy charged as a valid defense or other claims they can't claim it? Moki says yay because she's glad that I finished the story of the encounter. In next stream, I'll talk even more about aliens in the beginning and the whole time. We'll talk more about alien encounters on next Friday and also Trials 2, but also more alien stuff because Justice was curious about some alien encounters. So we're going to talk more about that next time. I am. I'm talking about the Friday stream. Yeah, during the week I might do more lives during the week. And we aren't being negative. We're having a struggle session. It's cool. All right. And gotcha. Gonna head out in a few. All right, Tasman. Thank you for being here. I've been wanting a piece of the Law and Crime chat for a long time, JK. Tasman, TBH, to got lots tomorrow. Steve IDK. Steve said, I'd say still self-defense. I have a law background, but given what the guy was saying before went down, this guy is going to be hurt. Joy says, cheers. I had so much fun with you all tonight. Thanks, so much fun. All right. Now what we're going to do is, this was a very amazing stream. We, as I said, y'all did better than the other group did. And, you know, this was a very healthy conversation. This is why I'm glad I have y'all here. Because, you know, I'm glad it was the group from Law and Crime and some people from other places. So, yeah, I'm really glad for this group I selected. Steve, committing assault on someone tries to stop you from committing assault. You can't unalive a person, claim in self-defense, and started it. The guy was hot-headed. Nothing about him spoke. He was disarming. All right. All right, so basically, now it's going to happen. Scared. All right. All right, everybody. So we are in the conclusion of the live stream. We finished it. We were live for 3 hours. All right, so everybody, I want to thank all of you for coming, and everybody had a nice conversation. It was very great, different topics we talked about this stream. We had a great crowd. I appreciate every single one of you. You know, so we'll be closing it out now. Maybe, I don't know. And Moki says, thank you so much for hosting all of us. We all think you are the greatest. So thank you, Moki. That's really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. All right. And I really appreciate and love all you. All right. Alien, happy weekend to you. Yeah, everybody, hope everybody has an amazing weekend. And everybody does as well. Thank you for the great... thank you, Steve. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Yeah, thank you, Five Cats, and Cecil. Oh, thank you, Amanda. You too. Thanks for another wonderful live. Have a good night. Okay, Shay, also to you too. All right. Let's see. Chat. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Okay. And good night. Good night to you, UH. Yeah, good game. A fair game. Yeah. All right. And let's do this, as we always do, and peace.